We've all been in situations where we feel like nobody is giving us attention, and we want some attention. Why is it always somebody else getting all the interest in the room? Why doesn't the cool person want to talk to us? What's so bad about us that people overlook us and overshadow us? What are we doing wrong here? We're trying so hard, and yet we're getting nowhere. Well, most likely part of the reason is we are trying too hard, desperately flailing around for that attention which other people aren't doing. They're not consciously trying to seek attention, it's just coming to them like they're a magnet or the flame to the attentive moth. One common misconception about attention is, if we're not getting as much attention as someone else, we're not as good as someone else. Get that out of your head right now. It's just simply not true. People get attention for all kinds of reasons, and you might be excited to know that mastering the interest in a room is something you can learn. We're all born with different inbuilt gifts that we just get handed, and we're slightly better than everybody else at it, just because that's our thing. For some people, that's attention. They don't have to try hard. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to learn a good way to go about it. It's just within them. But believe me, there is so much more to attention than just looking pretty or being funny or being interesting as a person. Not getting attention or not getting noticed has so much less to do with those things than you might think. We've all heard the old advice that you first need to be confident in yourself before anybody can have confidence in you. And as cliché as it might sound, it's the truth. The moment we stop pining for attention, we stop needing attention, and by our actions putting ourselves down to try and get it, we're instantly raising our profile, making ourselves look more confident and happy within ourselves. We're not being clingy or needy or desperate to please anymore. We're saying, I'm here. You've got the opportunity to speak to me. If you'd like to, that'd be wonderful. If you don't, that's okay too. They probably don't know what they're missing out on. And we don't need to think about this in a way of arrogance or thinking we're the best person in the world. Often when we try and genuinely work on our self-esteem, that's the excuse we face ourselves with. Well, I don't want to think I'm that great. You don't have to think you're that great, but you have to think enough of yourself to know that other people's opinions of you are not the be-all and end-all. They don't dictate your worth. They don't even dictate your looks or your personality or how much you can give to the world. There are all kinds of great people who have done amazing things in this life, who for most of the time were completely overlooked, sometimes even frowned upon, which should make us realise that it's not all just about us. If we're not getting the attention we feel we deserve, how many other people aren't? There's always going to be those people who everybody seems to fawn all over and they're in the spotlight for no apparent reason. But if you actually take a look around you, you're going to realise that a good 90% of people are in exactly the same position you are. Sometimes we need to think less about the attention we're getting and more about the attention we're giving. One of the reasons you might not be getting the credit you deserve is because everybody's doing exactly the same thing you are. Sitting there getting more and more envious and jealous of the people who are on top, and thinking less and less about everybody else who feels exactly the same way they do. What if we started giving attention? What if we started being kinder to ourselves and to everyone around us? What if we made a conscious decision to start showing appreciation to the people who are not appreciated? Walking into a room and thinking, who needs a little bit of encouragement today? The chances are the people that you crave the most attention from are the people who are getting it from all angles themselves. So no wonder they're not fussed with you. You're just one in a big crowd who could make them feel good about themselves. What we must recognize is that in that whole crowd, there are so many individuals who do not feel good about themselves, who do not get noticed, who do not get compliments, who don't feel like they're good enough because they don't get the attention that other people do. Sound familiar? All of these people are just like you. The reality is that if we start giving attention to the right people, we might start getting it back from people who can relate to us entirely, from people who we'll get along with so much better because they get it. They know what it's like to be in our shoes, and they'll appreciate it so much more. How much does it mean when you're sitting in a room full of people and suddenly one person does come over and start chatting to you and giving you their full attention? They're not multitasking, they're not half listening to somebody else's conversation, their brain isn't elsewhere. It's with you and with every word you're saying. How good does that feel? What is that feeling like? And why wouldn't we want to give that to everyone? Let's start seeking out those kind of people and listening to what they have to say. Once again, this can only be good for us on so many levels. It will improve how we feel about ourselves. It'll get rid of all that bitterness and negativity. It'll allow us to talk to different people and get to know their stories. And you never know, it might just get those people who you were dying for attention from to notice you, because you're doing something different. It might not, but that doesn't matter, because you're developing yourself, you're developing your relationships, and you're moving a lot further forward than you would be if you let yourself just get stuck in this same self-esteem crushing rut. Let's stop treading on ourselves in pursuit of other people. Let's start being the attention givers rather than wanting to be the attention getters. Something we so frequently forget is that maybe, just maybe, we're the person who somebody just wants to notice them. If you're waiting to get attention, it's probably going to leave you torn up. If you make the decision to give it, that's sure to spread a smile. Which one of these two people do you want to be? Maybe it's not about attention at all, but instead about making the right choices.